you ever woken up in the dark and been stuck in what I call the void? When I was little, I grew up in a strange house that my grandparents owned. There was many rooms, and most of them didn't make sense. After a whole day of playing with my cousins and my sisters, I was really tired. And they all had different beds in the house, so I chose one of the stranger rooms, kind of a transitional room. One door led to another room, and another door led to the backyard. I fell asleep without any problems, but I woke up in the middle of the night because I had to go pee, and so I went towards the door that goes through the room and out to a hallway into a bathroom. It was pitch black, darker than I ever remember it being, but I had to go pee so bad I didn't think about that. So I go like normal towards the door, feel for the doorknob. Nothing's there, just wall. Flat wall too, which was strange because that particular room had wood paneling. And you could feel that in the dark. There was grooves in between each piece of wood. But this time, it was just flat wall. I was still sort of asleep, but a little bit alarmed at this point. I kept feeling around, trying to find something familiar, trying to find a door, a doorknob, even a wood paneling, but nothing. I scaled one wall entirely, hit a corner, scaled another wall, hit another corner, scaled another wall, and hit the last wall. Scaled it, nothing. There was no exit. It was darker than dark, and all I could feel for was the bed that I had just woken up in. Not even any of the furniture was there, just 4 plain walls and a bed. I was so panicked, but somehow I decided to just go back to sleep. I laid there in a cold sweat, forced myself to shut my eyes, and somehow passed out again. I was woken up by daylight, early morning. I still had to pee after all. And when I did, I was in the same room that I had fallen asleep in. The only difference was my pillow and my positioning in it was the opposite way. My head was where my feet should have been. This made no sense to me. Yes, it could have made me a little disoriented, but there should have still been an exit. I still have no idea what happened, but I call it the void. It hasn't happened since, and I'm glad. And I hope it never, ever happens again.
And I hope it never, ever happens again.
So I'm a truck driver. I see a lot of things out on the road. But let me tell you the craziest thing I've ever seen. So the other morning about 5:30 a.m., I was driving through Vicksburg, Mississippi. I was passing another truck. All of a sudden, I see these guys wearing Confederate uniforms crossing the highway. The driver I was passing must have seen them at the same time because we both hit our brakes at the same time. About the time the soldiers got to the middle of the highway, they just disappeared. I grabbed my CB microphone and asked the other driver, "Did you see what I just saw, or am I losing my mind?" He says back, "I seen about 10 men walking across the interstate." I said back, "Yep, that's what I saw too," and just kept on driving.
And just kept on driving.
One night we were staying with our cousins in their huge house. We had one of the guest rooms downstairs. Our kids were sleeping in their cousins' rooms upstairs. We were sleeping pretty peacefully. It was a nice house, very comfortable. And all of a sudden, I woke up hearing banging noises above me. A room on the second floor must have been having some activity. We figured it was maybe somebody up doing things. But as I listened, the banging got louder, and it was very apparent that it wasn't a person. I texted our family to see if they were up, to see if they were okay. No replies. And this person, if they were awake, replied immediately to texts, but nothing. And it kept getting louder. Then I started hearing running on the stairs. Immediately, my husband shot up too. He woke up without me even having to wake him up. It started sounding like there was a team of football players running up and down the stairs in an unnatural speed. Surely this wasn't any of our family members, and it definitely wasn't the cats in the house. We look at each other in horror for a second, and of course, first thought, the kids. So my husband shoots out of bed, I follow. He opens the door and runs out to see what's going on the stairs. It was pitch black, but you could see a little bit from the moonlight coming into the windows. And there was absolutely nothing there. We look at each other again. We go upstairs. We investigate. Every single person in the house is asleep, and even the cats were asleep. We still aren't sure to this day what happened, but we are 100% sure that we both experienced something very strange, and it didn't feel like it was very good. Were there other instances in that house after that? Oh, there were. And I will come back and tell you more. But for now, I'm just glad we don't live there anymore.
I'm just glad we don't live there anymore.
I suppose this is more of a question than an actual story. But have you ever noticed when you're walking around that lights seem to turn off and flicker and not work around you? I've experienced this many times in my life. House lights, car lights, even street lights have flickered and even stopped working when I've walked around. It's so strange. I'll even be at a gas station filling my tank, and lights will flicker or shut off. I don't know how many bulbs in my house I've had to replace because of this phenomenon. Does anyone else go through this? Do you know what it means? Please let me know if you know what this is, because it's annoying and a little scary.
It's annoying and a little scary.
Thanks for joining us. Like and subscribe if you want to hear more ghost stories. Bye.